Okay, fantasy football players, I have a secret for you. So most people agree that this year there's sort of a big four of fantasy running backs, right? It's Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry. That's the top four in some order or another. But if you can't get any of them, I have another group of four running backs that you should turn to if you want to win your league. Now this next tier of guys is based on the idea that while you can't win your fantasy league in the first round, you can lose it. So we're trying to avoid busts at all costs and go for the safest guys possible. With that out of the way, here we go. First up, we have Ezekiel Elliott. Pretty obvious pick, and honestly, if not for Mike McCarthy and Tony Pollard, who I wish would both just go away, Zeke would probably be in the top tier. But at the very least, he's set up for a nice bounce back year on what should be one of the most powerful offenses in the league. Next up, Nick Chubb. Now I know he shares a backfield with Kareem Hunt, but remember, we're going for safe here, and Nick Chubb has one of the most reliable floors in all of fantasy football, especially in non-PPR leagues. Universally agreed upon as being one of the best pure runners in the league behind one of the best offensive lines in the league. Yeah, I'll take that with my first rounder all day long, even if his ceiling isn't as high as other guys. But I totally understand if you don't want to go with Chubb in a PPR league. In that case, you should go with Austin Eckler. If he's there, that is, because honestly, in PPR leagues, I'm surprised Eckler's not a top 5 pick. He's a receiving monster, has no backfield competition, and I think is in for a really big year. And finally, Najee Harris. Now, I know it might be counterintuitive to call a guy safe when he hasn't played an NFL snap yet and has a pretty bad offensive line, but if you can sign me up for 300 plus touches guaranteed out of my first round fantasy running back, I'm going to take that all day, and that's exactly what Najee Harris is in line for. There is simply no backfield competition for Najee Harris. Benny Snell is terrible. So this is all going to go to Najee, and even with some offensive line struggles, I think there's going to be enough volume there that it's going to be worth it. And so while you have the big four, that's my not as big four, but almost as big four. Go with one of those guys if you can't get one of the top tier truly elite running backs, and I promise you, you will still be just fine. And based on this list, it should be obvious, but just real quick, here's some guys I'm avoiding in the first round. Saquon Barkley and Jonathan Taylor. I'm letting someone else deal with those headaches. It's just not worth the risk to me. Of course, everybody has a value, so if they fall, to like 11 or 12, then sure, take the shot. Otherwise, I prefer to go safe. So who are you rolling with in the first round this year? Let me know in the comments and follow for more fantasy content.